right, so let's go ahead and get started with today's Platform Academy. I am Sharon Barnes, your Platform Outbound Product Manager and today's host, and we've got an incredible session lined up today with Jon Lind that I can't wait for us to dive in. But before we get started, couple quick logistics. These presentations are crafted with you in mind, and our goal is to inspire you with those fresh ideas and practical use cases that will elevate your understanding of our platform tools. So feel free to fire away with your questions throughout the presentation. Just remember, post them into the Q&A session so that our amazing panelists can make sure to address them. Plus, don't worry if you miss something. The sessions are being recorded and will be made available on our community through the Platform Academy forum. I also want to ensure all of your voices are heard. So after this event, there's a quick survey that helps us to improve our content for everyone. We would love for you to go ahead and fill that in. And next, we've got our safe harbor. Now, quick reminder, we may share some exciting or new features today, so let's keep everything compliant with those safe harbor best practices. Now, let's get to the good stuff. I am thrilled to introduce our fantastic speaker, Jon Lind, who's going to take us through a journey of unlocking developer superpowers and how you do that with Now Assist for Code. So, Jon, go ahead. Would you introduce yourself?
Hello, so I'm Jon Lind, and I'm an outbound product manager, like Sharon. Um, my background, I came up as a developer. I've actually been developing since I was a little kid. But I came up as a developer. I was actually in the .NET, Microsoft, C# world for a long time before I discovered ServiceNow. So I kind of came up as a developer, and like a lot of longtime developers, trying to kind of figure out and learn and adapt to this Gen AI stuff it's been interesting. It's been a bit of a challenge, and it has caused me to kind of rethink the way I do things. And so today I wanted to give a presentation kind of from the perspective of a developer who's used to the traditional tools, has been on the ServiceNow platform, my case, for about 13 years now. Uh, Kind of go a little bit deeper than just the happy path examples, which are great, that you might have seen for Now Assist for Code, and kind of show how you can use it in a more holistic way. And that includes creating code, editing code, and using the different tools together to get the results you want. And yeah, so yep, it's great. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you all. Yep, and so that's it. We're gonna the first thing we're gonna cover here shortly is how to enable Now Assist for Code, because I still have the problem while I log into my new instance and the feature's not there, and I have to kind of go Google around and search for how to turn it back on. So we'll just cover that briefly, just the sort of repetitive thing I kind of find myself going through, just to show you how to turn the tool on if you don't see it. And then we're going to, as we were talking to talk about a second ago, we're going to try some hard things. It's not going to be just the typical use cases. Do some real life stuff with some harder use cases, and then show how you can kind of iterate and refine your results and get the solution that you're looking for.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started with that first poll. And this one should be a multiple or a single choice, so let us know which one you use the most. I gotta say, I'm loving option one just a little bit because you referenced Fred Luddy.
The in a phrase that is replacing the word gods. Maybe a little much. That's interesting. Yes, not too surprising. It's good. A lot of non-developers here. That's great. About half of you. That's excellent. We want to be open to everybody. Um, yeah, not too surprising. A lot of folks are using the core UI. Good to see the ServiceNow Studio. Seems like that's getting a lot of uptake. That's excellent. Few VS Code or other IDE off-platform people, and one Notepadder. So I apologize for you to you. That must be rough, but I've done it. Okay,
All
cool,
right.
interesting. Yeah, so good. So this is the stuff I'm going to show you today is going to be things that you can do on platform. You can do it most places on platform, which is good. Um, so this is sort of the kind of the standard use case. So cool. Uh, yeah. So the first thing I'm going to show you is actually what happens to me a lot of times is, and we're lucky here in ServiceNow, of course, is I have got I've got access to instances and stuff that are a lot easier in a lot of ways than US customers, right? So frequently I'll have a new instance or be preparing for a demo. I'll log in and I'll go look for the little code with analysis icon on the script box, and it is not there. And in fact, so what I will do is, Sharon, I will start sharing here, and I'll show you just kind of what I'm uh, replace your share. And yeah, and so what I'm looking for um, is this little icon here, right? The code analysis that tells me that the code the analysis feature is enabled, and a lot of times it's not. Um, uh, and the reasons for that can be multifold. So uh, one of those reasons would be um, that the skill just isn't enabled. So to solve that, and you'll have access to this slide deck and of course the presentation. But to solve that, you go to the analysis admin skills. Um, just with this window, go to analysis admin skills. Go to analysis skills. Go down to creator.
I love it. You're in my product. Now assist admin console.
Good, good. It's actually
This is
pretty amazing what this thing does. It's a lot of capabilities, a lot of features.
hmm I really like the new list function as well. That's one of the newer patches we've done is to provide that.
Ooh, you'll have to perhaps you should help share that. So, do you mean this list?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
it used to be only available as cards, which was okay, but it required more clicks to really see what you were looking for.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Those cards, like, yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it can take a long time to get through them. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna look for code assist. Search for code assist. And then yeah, you can see there's code assist autocomplete, summarization, generation, and edit. And we'll be covering this here shortly. But you want to make sure that those skills are enabled, and if they're not, you can add them. You can add them as a plugin. So if that's enabled, the one that's probably the biggest gotcha is we're kind of used to, and this is for better or worse, mostly worse, we're kind of used to working as admins. Of course, admins have override the roles pretty much every time. In our case, uh, though, you have to have the now.assist.creator role explicitly called out, or else even as an admin, you won't see the feature, and this one can hang people up a lot of times. Um, so just make sure that you've got that. Uh, Make sure that you've got the now assist creator role here, right? And that should give you access to a lot of the creator features, right? And the last one is, and this is kind of this one will catch me out sometimes, is if I'm in the wrong scope. Basically, if I'm in an editor that I can't actually edit, um, it will not. It may not offer that. You won't see the code analysis. So occasionally, I'll do a little comments with that. So anyway, moving on. Once you've got your analysis enabled, I think it's time to demo. So uh, like I said, a lot of the demos, and we'll do this. Let's just go do a real simple demo. I will go to okay. We'll just go to Giant Helpers here. I got a little script here. It's in my scope. Cool. And a lot of the demos, and this is great. There's nothing in the world wrong with this, and it's really good. This kind of thing is a lot of these demos. You'll just hit Command Enter, and you'll say, "Hey, I wanted to add a function that returns users who have logged into this instance in the last week." Right? You do that, and it is it's doing its magic. Not magic. It's actually it's not. actually magic. So, but it does its thing. And then, we can accept it and gotta always clean that up a little bit there. There we go. Accept it. And you can see it's kind of doing some of this kind of boilerplate code for you, right? Looking for a query, a user session record. This is cool too, right? So I might not know that I could go look at the user table, right? But I might not know to look at the user session. So it's got some context clues and knowledge of the way the platform works, which is nice, right? Um, and so it does this query for us, and it is great. And no problem at all. I like it's even added some error logging, right? Which is super cool. So that's really nice. And nothing in the world wrong with that. But save that. So that's a kind of a cool use case. The other thing I can do too, I like the fact that it did try catch. Is you can also select a block of code and you can do, we'll say, hey, I'm kind of curious. This is a bad example. This would probably be a pretty quick query, but let's say you're kind of, you want to log um, how long it takes to execute this block of code, right? So I can do edit code and say, add logging to record how long block of code takes to execute. I always like to be polite. Thanks. Uh, cool. And so it'll just do some of this kind of, oops. Uh, so it'll always kind of do this kind of, again, kind of boilerplate sort of stuff for you, um, and do the math for you and log these things as info for you, right? And so that's nice. That's super nice. And those are great. Those are great use cases. But I am interested in uh, I'm interested in doing something a little harder, right? And as you'll find, to do the more difficult use cases, it may not be as simple as a single prompt. You get a nice block of code. It probably works, but if it's more complex, it can be difficult to tell. As a developer, I like the thing I like about the Gen AI is that things like glide records and that type of thing. It's great to have a simple boilerplate code that'll spin up for me. It's easy, right? Gets rid of some tedium. But what can be hard is kind of integrating really complex logic. So if you have to do something that's kind of complex, logically kind of complex, it can be nice to kind of get a head start using Gen AI. But to understand then how do you iterate on it and analyze it, test the results, that type of thing, to figure out if it's actually working or not. And again to kind of accelerate your ability to create a new code, a new feature. So what I'm going to do is uh, I'm going to add a method here. Again, command enter. So add a method to get the first Monday and last Friday of next month. Okay. So this is, as anyone who's developed software knows, the absolute worst thing to work with is dates. Dates are the worst. Dates and times, effectively impossible for mere mortals. So something like this is definitely doable, but to figure out the logic is kind of the hard part, right? And it would take me a lot of thinking and noodling and stuff. And so we're going to see if we can't help kind of jumpstart this a little bit for us. So even Gen AI is like, man, this is hard. Okay, here we go. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and accept this and clean it up using the little format code. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let me save this. So now I think it's a good time to unit test this feature. So um, what I'm going to do is go over here to BG script and the now system. Okay. And then what I am going to do is but wait, I just realized I should have asked I should have asked Gen AI to do this for me. This is easy enough though. We will be doing some unit testing here in a second though, but yeah. but I could have asked Code Assist to do this for me, but in fact, let's just find out. I'm just kind of I was just kind of this is instinct. I've been doing this for decades, and so let me see.
Habit.
And this is a great thing. So the other great thing, right, is and this has been adapting and evolving for a while here, is it really is pretty much available almost anywhere, which is really nice. It's not one of those things that you have to, only works in script includes or business rules. It's like even here, although this is thanks to our new CUI, I think, but even here you're able to get you're able to get access to Gen AI, which is really nice. And you can do it in global scope apps. That's great. So yeah, so create a unit test for the method. Let's just see if I tell it the name of the method, if it'll figure out the script include. So it tries harder than me. What is this? I think that is not what I needed. Yes, it does. It wasn't aware of the yeah, it wasn't aware of the wasn't aware of the class. So let me add the class in there. Mm, Okay, that's a little better. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Um, I will accept that.
I like that it went through, it actually commented every line as well as providing you the code.
Exactly. As a brilliant developer, don't have to comment my code, but I'm glad when the Gen AI comments his code so I can know what's going on. So yeah, that is actually very nice.
I have learned my future self appreciates it.
Okay. Yes, you're right. It's like, and sometimes you're like, who wrote this junk? And I'm like, oh, wait a second, that was me. Sorry. So run script. Cool. Log error is not allowed in scope. So this is something interesting. So yeah, so we're gonna talk about this here in a second too. But so there are some shortcomings. Uh, the right now what we are using is, and we'll cover here in a second how you can change you can use the Now Assist admin console to change the on a very granular level you can change the LLMs, but the because it's built off of the corpus of knowledge that's out there that's been around for and most in net volume a lot of that knowledge is older. It sometimes struggles with like scope. I've noticed this. Interestingly enough, the now LLM maybe while it's not quite as good at pure JavaScript as the Azure the Azure model, which is basically ChatGPT. Um, while it's not quite as good at pure JavaScript, the now LLM is much better about understanding scope, which is kind of interesting. Kind of makes sense if you think about it. So anyway, so yeah, so this is the sort of thing. This is one of the little frustrations you can run across is that sometimes I've seen this quite a bit where it just doesn't understand the scoped APIs, right? Um, so so log error, right? So log error isn't actually in here, right? It's actually in my script. So let's go back to John Helpers and we'll need to find log error. Okay. So what we're gonna do instead is we're just gonna do error. And just find log error. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to change. I'm gonna change this manually. Okay. Okay. Let's try it again. And I think we're gonna encounter another issue. Uh, so as you'll see, now date time is not allowed in scope, etc. Right? Um, so we're gonna go back to glide date time. Get the space. Okay. So yep. So the issue is yeah. So now date time. Uh, Actually, I don't think we even have to do that. So. Yeah, so this is me integrating my experience and knowledge with as a developer with the AI features, and like I said, understanding that there are some, it's not going to be perfect each time, but what we're going to, we're going to find here is that hopefully it will figure out the logic for me, which is kind of the hard part. Um, and so this is another one. So we're going to try this. Again, it's using these old globally scoped methods like add months instead of add months UTC or add months local time. So what I'm going to attempt here, let's see how this works, okay? Is I'm going to tell it to ask it to uh, change the. Okay, James, you got some insight here before I start this. Keep me uh keep me from going off the rails. Let's see, chat. So James raised his hand. Okay, so we're gonna see. Yeah. So what we're gonna try to do here is I said change the date time methods
Hmm.
such as add months to use add months local time.
It would not occur to me to think that Now Assist could change that, but also there's no reason why it shouldn't be able to.
Accept. Yes. So the question is, so in this particular case, yeah, it looks like it only did the add months. So I was messing around trying to figure out the way to prompt it that could kind of, because it's kind of tough because there's certain things that don't require UTC and some things that do. So it struggles a little bit with that. But we're gonna do is we're just gonna try a few unit tests here, and we'll see, and we'll work through, and it'll kind of tell us which ones are. Yeah. So set day of month, right? So okay. So set day of month is also, set day of month also requires set day of month local time. Okay. So in this particular case, might be better off just to do a search and replace. Oops. Um, uh, actually hit a keystroke there. So I'm gonna do old-fashioned search and replace on this one. Set day of month. Place all. And I can't remember. Let's find out. Just keep running unit tests. I can't remember if, yeah, get year, yeah. Yep. Okay. So I'm guessing, let's see, let's try. So let's try it. Let's see if we can get it to, yeah, we basically need to change all of these. So let's try it. Let's try this again. Use the time get methods to use, uh, yeah, depend. Then get month is changed to get month local time. Let's see what it does. Yeah, it appears it's not looks like it's not able to make the jump from year to month, etc. So let's try another variation on this. Let's try
I mean, he did say for the live demo he was going to try the hard stuff, and he dove
yes,
straight into dates.
methods to pending. And let's try to see if we talk to pending local time, e.g. Um, set year to set year local time.
Do you think you could add multiple uh, prompts like that. So like set
Yeah,
month, set year, etc.
that's a good idea. That's a real good idea. Yeah, yeah, that's a real good idea. Let me yeah, so if I was to do that, yeah, so that's a good point. Like maybe I can do this. Um, change all set methods to append local time to the method menu, e.g. All set, yeah. So we say set year, set month. Let's see if we just tell it both. And set month methods to append local time to the method name. Let's just see what that does. Oh yeah, good idea. Well, that looks like figured it out. Good, good, good. Okay. And get day of week. Okay, gotcha. So is that, yeah, let's try this again. Uh,
There's a quick question in chat. Is our LLM behind the scenes the now LLM?
so this is actually this is actually Azure, which is basically ChatGPT.
Okay, so it is Chat GPT.
I'll be frank, I meant to switch it to LLM before we started this. I actually have a slide on how to do that. Just so you know how to do it, they've changed the way it works, but um, I should have done that because this is one case where the now LLM's better. It's aware. It's more aware of the intricacies of our API. Um, it's to append local time. Take a month, get years. Let's see what that does. So we're about to be done with this, so then we'll move on. Get day of week. Sweet.
Nice.
So accept.
And actually, before you end your demo, can I add something to it that I think
Yes,
will answer multiple of our Q&A questions?
that'd be great.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready for it.
Okay, sure. Let's get this dude running, and then we will be add days. Oops. Okay. And we'll just do it old fashioned. Good. Okay, cool. Um, so okay, darn it. It actually worked, but that's good. Uh, when I was testing this out, it came back and the days were off. It was actually returning the second Monday of the month and then the first Friday of the next month, right? And we wanted to confirm that. But what we want to do is we want to make sure, so we've got the unit test that runs it, but we want to make sure that it's actually going to work because there's no like any tweaks or issues that might, it might work in September, but not work in October, that type of thing, right? So I'm going to add another prompt here. And so what I'm doing here obviously is just some ad hoc unit testing for developing purposes. You've also got the option to do the exact same thing if you wanted to create, test underscore John Helper, for example, right? You could create all your tests in there and have it as an asset on your instance, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to create a unit test. So yeah, create a unit. Let's do it this way. Get first Monday and last Friday of next month. That checks all of the next 12 months, he verifies that each Monday returned is actually a Monday, and each Friday returned is actually a Friday. Accept it. We'll look at it, and we will, bam, issue here. So it's complaining about this, but let me save it. You want to run it? Let's see. Okay, so cool. So month one unit test failed. So first Monday, 9/2, last Friday, 9/27. Month one unit test failed. First Monday, 9/2. Is it not a Monday? Got two. Okay. So let's just do, oops. Uh, so what we're saying here, what it's saying here is that uh, what it's saying
9/2 is a
here is
Tuesday.
line 9/2 is a Tuesday. That's correct, right? So September 9. Yep, that's Tuesday. No, no. So cool. So now here's the thing. So now again, so it was a bad example for Gen AI, but what I want to demonstrate here is that how you can then use Gen AI to kind of figure out what's going on and kind of figure out why perhaps this didn't work. So what I'm going to do to accomplish that is I'm going to go ahead and um, I'm going to prompt it. So I'm looking through here and I can say, okay, get week local time. So it's like first Monday, set your local time, set month. Day of week one equals Sunday. Okay, two equals Monday. It's not equal to two. So I'm looking through here and, doing what I've been doing since I was 12, trying to figure out what the heck's going on here, right? Instead of doing that, I'm going to ask the now assist to explain to me what's happening. So I'm going to say, explain the code in detail. So, so finding the first Monday, another glide date time object is set to the first day of the next month. You can previously determine your month. A while loop checks the day of the week, returns to Monday. If it's not Monday, it adds one day until it is. So what I define the last Friday. Last day is a glide time object set as a glide date time object is set to the last day of the next month by using get days and month local time. Last Friday is essentially the last. And while loop checks the day of the week, looking for 6. If it's not Friday, it subtracts one day until it is. So I can see what it's trying to do, right? It's trying to say, okay, go to the next month, the first day of the next month, and then look for the next Monday, right? Um, uh, uses glide date time and then find the last Friday. Okay, so cool. I think we can kind of figure out what's going on here. So I say, okay, if it's off by one, first Monday, set month local time, set month local time one, um, set year local time year, month, time, etc. So day of month, first day of the month is not equal to add days local time one. Gotcha. So it keeps adding until the current. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Um, but what happens if I do this? It's a little reckless. Let's see what happens. Last Friday. So first Monday was 9/1. Okay. Okay, but it looks like actually my Mondays are fasting now, right? My Fridays aren't. So what is the day? It thinks that the last Friday is 9/27, and if I remember correctly, um, if I remember correctly, uh, it's actually the 29th, right? So it's actually September 29th. Okay. So we're saying something similar. Last Friday, last day, blah, blah, blah. So they get months and local times. last Friday because it was 6, blah, blah, blah. And I think that these are just, so yeah, I think that I think that what it's doing is it is should be 29th as we're trying the 28th. Gotcha. Yep. So I think it's index wrong. So let's okay, I got a line there. So we'll pause. Cool. Script. Use this for last Friday, 9/28. But you know, it's not it looks like it's actually not moving. It's actually staying on the my unit test failed. Dang it. It's not looking good. Why is it not why
Not iterating through the months.
right. So my first let me get rid of this first one here. So is I not being used?
Hmm.
Get day of week. Up. Here's my problem. See, this might be causing all my problems. Let's try this out. Why is it not? Oh, it doesn't like the function being. It doesn't like the function being within the for loop. That's a good point. Let's see. Okay, so run this guy. John helpers is not defined. Oops, I got rid of the definition of my
Oh,
script. Aha. It's still not iterating. So what's it doing with that I? It's not using the for var I equals 1. John will for the next month. You know, the issue is my method doesn't accept the date, right? So I can't unit test it, which is actually was actually on my script. Was to refactor it. Um, so yeah, so yeah, I'm going to just real quickly. I want to change this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this and tell it that I want to uh, use the name to get first Monday and last Friday, and modify it to accept a wide date time object for today instead of creating it. So we're gonna make it where it's we can pass in a parameter. Let's see what it does. And we're gonna pass in day. Okay, cool. Save that. And we want to do this is basically we'll just have it loop and then we'll pass in today. Oh, and I got to change the name. So this is me being all cheeky. I messed up my logic. See, my logic was fine. My unit
but
test.
at least you're now iterating through months.
Exactly, exactly. And I pretty quickly, let's see if it works. I pretty quickly was able to change the I was pretty quickly able to change the refactor it, just change the name, take a parameter, and here we go, run script. Pass first Monday is a Friday. Pass, 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 pass. Okay, good. So okay. So yeah. So this is great. This was a bit of a chore, but I think uh, for me, understanding that it's not, I think a lot of folks and maybe some of our managers think, don't worry, Gen AI is going to do it all for you, right? So the point is, um, the Gen AI was able to figure out some of this kind of complex logic for me, but then I have to kind of fall back on my skills as a developer. So what was your contribution that you want to make, Sharon?
So there are a lot of questions about how much does each one of these interactions cost with asking Code Assist to assist with something. Now, the simple answer is go talk to your account people.
Everyone loves that answer.
But I also like to teach people how to fish for themselves. So if you're an admin
Teach me
in
how to.
prod or that level, you can go to subscription management and see.
Can I do that?
You should be able to do that. So in here, just go to subscription management as the dashboard. From here, you're going to go about halfway down and click on, so down a little bit and oh, go to account entitlements because you don't want to see the instance level, but the account. And then now assist usage.
Cool.
And if you scroll down to sort of the third set of cards, there we go, where it says skills, number of actions, and assist ratio. This is how you can actually see for yourselves without having to see the account. What is the cost? So the number of actions is how many times someone in your instance has tried this particular skill. The assist ratio is how many assists each interaction with that skill cost. And then your total assist used tells you how many times that actually like multiplies out. So 87 times 25 is our answer for total assists on that first row of 2,175. So I'm really big on giving you this information. There
That's
are a
great.
couple things to note though. This dashboard is always about 48 to 72 hours delayed from the real-time use in all of your instances. It is also a collection of the data from all of your instances. So keep that in mind, that it won't be, oh, I did this today. It's going to instantly update. It's got some behind some scenes uh, adding of different things together to get to that information.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it is. It's too easy for me to be kind of cavalier about it because obviously I'm not having to write the check, right? So it's nice.
Yes.
It does seem like it's fairly efficient though compared to we were doing some agentic workflow stuff, which as you can see just burns through those assists. Um, I'm a little surprised that autocomplete actually doesn't seem too expensive.
Yeah. And
Uh,
it's just 5 assists per interaction for the code complete.
yeah. That's cool. Okay, well, great. So I think this is good. The I think we can. You know what? Actually, I'm going to show you one more thing, kind of related. So we were asking about the LLMs. I'm going to show this to you because it is the UI has changed recently. So I'm going to go back to the Now Assist admin, and I'm going to show you how to change the LLM. Um, the the UI has changed a little bit. So you go to the analysis admin, you go to settings, you go to manage model providers. I'm not exactly sure who came up with this UI because to me it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you can see the list here, model providers, which is great. Zero OpenAI for Code Assist. You'd think there'd be like an edit or something. I don't know, just putting that out there. But there is no such thing. So you hit the edit model provider button. And then there's the option to defaults the option to change the model provider for everything in one spot. I would not default to that. Instead, I'd go to customize. But then well, okay, cool. If I want to change it for a individual skill or for the entire skill group. So if I do for the skill group, I can do code assist and basically say I want all code assist. Just you see what it's set to now. It's all set to 0. I can switch it wholesale for all code assist. but you also have this edit providers for skill button, and you can do it more granularly. If I want to do, and I can just type code, and then I can say, um, so you may have a situation, and it's some people are. It's nice that we offer this granularity, but some people also understandably offer a little frustration, like, hey, why should I have to figure this out, right? But there are people for different reasons, or organizations for different reasons, that might prefer one or another. I'll say, for example, that Claude's very good at summarization. Um, the uh, for pure JavaScript, uh, the Azure is very good at pure JavaScript. It's also very good at code edits, right? If you've already got existing code and you want to like refactor it. But in certain cases, like I said, now LLM is actually better at some ServiceNow specific code, that type of thing. So anyway, that's how you change the LLM if you'd like to. So I think on that note, if you would like to share, if you don't mind, start sharing again, I think we can. I'll just cover a couple other things to summarize what we've done today, and then we can start taking questions. I'm sure we'll have plenty.
All
Thank you.
right, here we go for our tips and best practices.
Yes. So uh, we actually did a lot of prompts today. So that's the first kind of option, to be explicit. The code assist autocomplete is nice too, because it allows you to be more expressive. So instead of having to stop, write down, tell it what to do, you can just start coding things. And that's kind of nice to just set a variable name, and it'll start trying to infer what you're trying to do. Take away some of that tedious work for you, kind of let it finish your sentence, right? If you could go to the next one, please. The and yeah, I think what we learned today is, if at first you don't succeed, don't give up. Uh, the Like I said, the LLMs are really good at simple use cases, but complex cases don't always work great in the first try. As you saw, we kind of got into the weeds on the fact that uh, the Now Assist was not aware of the changes in the scoped and non-scoped APIs for daytime, right? That was kind of tedious, but it also gave us a leg up, in that it gave us some correct logic, which I then tried to run, but it did give us some correct logic, and we were able to build from there. Um, and then we showed an example of how you can just real quickly create some ad hoc unit tests. It's not everybody's style, but I've been using background scripts to just run some quick unit tests on my script includes for years. It's nice to just not even have to spend the tedious time setting that up. It's pretty good about doing it, and of course we had to tweak it a little bit. So do the next one, please. And then yeah, and so yeah, while you're doing this, you can uh, one of the pointers is that you can use it to refactor, right? So we saw that we were refactoring in real time on new code. But the same principles, once you kind of learn how to refactor, prompt it, figure stuff out, that same principle can be used on existing code, helping you understand existing code, right? All those things. And you use those together. It's not just code explanation. If I don't understand, someone else's code, it's also code explanation for something that the Gen AI just created. Like, explain to me why this was done this way. Explain to me how this works to help me debug the problems, right? Um, and again, you can use it for all kinds of optimizations, make things faster, reduce complexity, improve readability. Yep. And if you could advance to slide 14, we mentioned changing the model. I just have the steps there for that, for future reference if you need to do that to figure out how to get into there. So.
Mhm. Ooh, quick question for changing the model. I think it'll
Mhm.
be valuable for our people. Can I change the model only for myself, or does that impact all of the users?
I believe it impacts all the users. I think you change it on a per skill set basis, but not on a per user basis. That's a very good question.
That that is correct, and I wanted to make sure we called that out because um, I've had times when people I work with prefer a particular model over another, and it's going to have to be sort of at the organizational level of which LLM you go with. And a lot of that is controlled by your security team and your organizational what's accepted type of things.
Right. Yep, that's correct. And like I said, it's nice that you can change it, but we're working on ways to use Gen AI to figure out, of course, this is all obviously very much safe harbor type stuff, to use Gen AI to figure out, hey, given a particular problem, what's the best LLM to use, right? I don't know if we'll get to the point where it could look at that and go, hey, this is ServiceNow code. We've got our own models. Let's go use that for generating ServiceNow code or APIs or whatever. But there is some work afoot to try to make those decisions, help make those decisions for you. Good question. So what is the maximum number of selected lines of code? I do not know, Greg. I've not encountered it. Um, I suspect it's pretty large, and I think it would. I would also assume it'd burn more assists at a larger scale, but I'm not certain actually. In my cases, I've not encountered issues with it. Um, that would be a pretty large group set of code, and maybe you should be refactored, reduce it down to smaller pieces. Uh, Yeah, so that's a good idea. It'd be nice, Matt, you're saying if you could change the log to kind of see what's happening, that you don't just have to like accept, reject, and then bam, you've got this big block of code in there, right? You can use the versions, of course, to go back. I almost did that a second ago, actually. You realize I messed up. I realized when I messed up the logic, I could have maybe gone back to previous version, but you're right, it's not a great user experience there. So that's actually a really good idea.
Yes, but I also got to say that's a lot like my life as a developer before I learned save often.
Hmm.
Like the versioning already exists by the clicking save, actually creating that history for a record, assuming the record you're working on has that on. But like, you have to accept that that's part of the ownership you have to do.
True. That's a good point. And the other thing, Matt, is you said that you'd had experience where it would hallucinate script includes. I'm not sure when exactly that happened. It has gotten better lately. It's got awareness of your actual instance, so it actually is aware of your script includes that are on your instance. I'm not saying it doesn't hallucinate occasionally. I feel like we've been working on that and it's gotten better. So if you want to evaluate again, you might consider trying it again. I do think we've improved some of those things. How's it licensed? Yeah, so I think Sharon already talked about that. Yep, you've got that. You'll need to talk to your. It does have a cost. It does cost us, and it's going to cost our customers. For what it's worth, some of our other like agentic AI things are a lot more expensive. But yes, it does have a cost, and it is burned, on consumption based on consumption. Yes, cost benefit analysis. That is always tough. That is really tough. I know it can be tough to talk to your boss about, hey, let's spend money to save money, and that can be a difficult conversation. Okay, I don't know. Talk to your if you can, if you got access to your account team, talk to your SC or your account executive, and you can ask them to get them in touch with us. Um, Let them know that you would like to talk to us, and we can perhaps support you on that. And, I don't offhand can't I don't I'm not aware of the answer to that, but I do believe that we've got assets that are meant to answer those questions. So reach out to your account team and try to get back to us.
Yeah. I want to just interject that I think at this point it really is getting to a point with those creator skills that they truly add value. Because you can use them now not just on new items, but on a lot of existing items that are out there. And editing what you're doing, commenting what you're doing, there's so many places where it just makes things faster every day in small ways.
Yeah, I agree. I agreed. I do believe that we've been doing some research on that, so we may have some assets for you. So yeah,
Hmm.
but that's a good point. The fact that it's not just generating new stuff, it's also able to help you, modify and refactor. So anonymous attendee uh, is asking if there's a way to get AI to list or highlight the missing new functions on old scripts that are used. If I know scripts are old and could be updated with new Zurich functions, how can AI help? So I'm not 100% sure I understand the question. New functions on old scripts that are used. So the question might be, this is something I do with it a lot. I meant to demonstrate today. is I will sometimes take some script that's got the old ES5 syntax, and I'll tell it to, hey, refactor using ES6. And it'll even go as far as to sometimes take like little helper functions that are iterating on an array, which has been solved a long time ago, right? There's ES6 methods on arrays, uh, and it'll go clean those up. So I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're talking about, but I do use it to modernize my code sometimes. I'll be like, hey, just take the whole thing and convert to ES6, right? And it seems like it's pretty good, pretty reliable about that. As
And
a way
I'm
to
going
see
to
when
take the
particular people
next one.
oh, excuse me.
Is there a way to see when a particular person is using Now Assist for code? And yes, the answer is in that same console that you use for activating a skill, changing the LLM. There's also a tab called Analytics. And inside of there are reports for what skills are being used, how often they're used, and which departments are using them the most. You can also dive into the table behind the scenes and see which users are interacting with it as well.
That's a good point. Yep, that's right. That's cool. That's really nice. So that way they can go back and say, John, you overused your assists. Write a check.
Ah, nah, they're going to go to Sharon and say, you should use Now Assist. This is why John is doing 3 times more stories than you are.
But do you know who I am? Sharon Barnes. Unrelated question. Is there a way to do a code search without using Studio? James, Studio is a good code search. This is a total side note. You can actually, if you're familiar with how to set up search to index tables and search, I've done this before. You can actually go create your own search index and add all the script tables if you want to. That's the only other way I know to do it. Otherwise, Studio is kind of that's what Studio does well. So does BYOM? So actually, I don't. Can you BYOM your? Can you BYOM? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to this. Maybe you know, Sharon. Can I BYOM any? I don't think I can just BYOM any skill, right? I think like this analysis for creator skills. I think you're tied to using our supported models. I don't think you can just show up with a. But I could be mistaken on that. I don't think you can just plug
I
any
am
model.
not sure off the top of my head, but I know who to ask, and we will add that into our blog because I think that is a valuable
Yeah.
thing to bring, or possibly you might want to try the Platform AI Academy because I'm sure Ashley has to have spoken to that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
But we will find that answer and add it to the blog for this episode because I think that has value.
That's a very good question. Yep. And this is a great one. Sindel asked a very obvious question. Why do I have to pay for the ones that are wrong? So I believe that is still the case. That is a really good point. I believe you still have to pay for the ones that are wrong. We hope that the wrong ones will be. It's easy for me to say. It's kind of academic for me as an employee, but it seems like it's less wrong than it used to be, if that's helpful. And one hopes that it's not wrong too often, and that the net costs, continues to go down, and even with a few wrongs thrown in, perhaps it would still be a good value. But that's a very good question. But yeah, you do still have to pay for incorrect results. Still takes assist. So
All
cool.
right.
Thank
That's
you.
all our questions.
Thank you, Sharon.
John, thank you so much for bringing this information to us and joining our academy. As we mentioned just briefly a few seconds earlier, I do want to quickly call out we've got our AI Academy, our Analytics Academy, as well as the Process Mining Academy. They are great sources of answers as well. Of course, you've already found the best, the Platform Academy, but I do have to say they have great value as well. Also want to invite our members to join us for our feedback sessions. If you can use either the QR code or the website at the bottom of our slide here, fill out a quick form, and that allows us to reach out to you. And the reason we ask you to do this is because while we think we know our product and we know how it's used, the true test of things and the true best feedback is getting that insight from our customers, from the source. Also want to remind you we have several academies coming up. If you are looking forward to this that Thursday, I have to apologize. It has been canceled. on account of a variety of holidays. We will have our next session next Tuesday with mobile client scripts and inputs. And last, we've got our AI going to work for us to help with customer success. What that means is we've got our ServiceNow Impact training and service certification and expert services that are all great avenues to get assistance with making technology work for you. So that said, thank you all for joining us. I appreciate you hanging in there for the last of the session. And Jon, great work, great information. I hope everyone has a beautiful week.
Thank you. Thank you all.